Welcome back to Bitcoin Advisors channel. My name is Chris, bringing you this lovely cryptocurrency video right after Jerome Powell's Fed meeting with Mr. Rubenstein, the billionaire. And you know they're shaking things up for sure. They had a planned affair. And what was it? Let's wreck people to the upside, to the downside. Let's give it to them sideways, backwards, and frontwards. That's what you got right here. Jerome Powell meeting, Bitcoin rallies to the moon, shafts back down, rallies back up. Now the question is continuation to the upside or the downside, and I'm going to go over some of those targets in just a minute. In the complex world of Bitcoin and macroeconomics, we are here to give you a bird's eye view from the macro level down to the micro level. We're going to marry the two together and let them have a little baby and give you the best education we can every single day. I hope you enjoy the video. I want to bring our attention first, though, to Mr. Dixie. Good old Dixie. And we did say, based off of yesterday's closure, we were looking for continuation to the upside, which gave us the bias that very, very likely risk assets would take a little bit of a breather. And in fact, that is what happened. So we did get the continuation to the upside. The first pass at the green 55 is a sell. Typically, it is a sell. We get the death cross in play, and yes, sell on the first pass. So, question is, do we cross down? And when we do cross down, how violent is that move going to be to the downside? And are we going to get a little bit more continuation to the upside? If you had to put a gun in my head and say, hey, Chris, what do you think? What do you think? I would say probably going to get another drive upwards and onwards to that yellow 21 based on the weekly hidden bullish divergence, which we had been talking about. Additionally, the declining volatility. Let's check out the 5-day, same thing, declining volatility. And it's a mean reversion bounce. It's a mean reversion bounce. So what does that mean? So when volatility expanded to the upside, we got the 3 waves up, more like 4 waves. 1, low read. Volatility is way up there. Volatility reads high, high, high. Now what's happening? Volatility is cooling off. We're getting that mean reversion bounce. So where can the bounces come in? On the weekly time frame, we're probably looking at somewhere between the 0.5 and the 618. However, the weak bounces will come up to the 382. And where's that going to be? Right here. Depends on where you take the measurement, right? But I really don't think there was no economic data that came out from Powell today. He basically said, I'm consistent. I believe inflation needs to go down to 2%. I believe that the economy is strong and the labor force is strong, and that's why we are not putting inflation in the rear view mirror. Even though it goes down to 2%, we want it to go down there and stay down there. And I would just suggest that even when they say inflation's at 2%, it's really not at 2%, right? Because you can't believe one thing out of the side of their mouths. You had a billionaire on TV today, and you had Jerome Powell. Jerome Powell, who is the chairman of the biggest bank in the world, the biggest for-profit bank in the world. And no, they don't have your best interest at heart. What else do I want to bring up here? So if we get a little bit more of a push upwards on the dollar, which, you know, if we are going to get a push up, what could happen here potentially, right? If we take out the low there, we put in a higher low somewhere right here. So we get, you know, a little bit of a, would you call that a higher high? Yes, higher high, higher low, and then continue onwards and upwards. Remember, the daily compared to the weekly, compared to the monthly, they're going to move very, very slow. And yeah, if we do get a tick above, just a tick above 106, I'm looking for that green box to get hit. Other than that, you know, still, you look at that 6-month, could you consider this a test of the 9? Yes. So maybe it's played out. Maybe it's played out and the dollar's going to rally back up. I still think there's a bit more downside continuation. Now, here's the other thing nobody's talking about. Today, the State of the Union. What is Biden, good old Biden, going to talk about? State of the Union says he's going to talk about gun control. He's going to talk about Syria and Turkey and probably sending a bunch of free money over there, which God knows they need it. Praise the Lord, they need it. Do something good with that money. Give it to the people who are dying in the streets of cold and earthquakes. And, meanwhile, here in America, I was complaining about my eggs at Costco not being there, right? Boy, do we love our eggs in America. I love my eggs, and I was sure sad about them not being there for like 2 or 3 weeks. Boy, poor me, I had to drive to Pavilions to get me my eggs. Anyways, guys, and all jokes aside, pray for the people in Turkey and Syria and Ukraine. And at the State of the Union address, I hope Joe Biden writes the biggest, fattest check he can to those people to help them out, because why not? Why not help the people out? He could write it for transgender research. He could write the check for, abortions. He could write the check for, Pelosi or any of his comrades in the leftist mafia, right? He could do all of that and above, but if he does something for good, let him do something for good. Now, I personally, I don't think he's doing anything for good. He's doing it because he's a puppet. He's a little puppet to the rest of the world. Enough politics talk here. All right, what else did we talk about? So, now, here is something to note. We've been talking about this on the daily, is getting kicked out of the bullish control zone. We're coming down here. We're coming down, down, down. And if we were going to see a swift move down, you'd expect volatility to expand. Now, we have not got the expansion there. So there's a 20% move baking to the upside, to the downside. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think the 27,000, call it 28,000, gets hit first, or 20,000? And in my opinion, I think 20,000 is more likely. Just an opinion. I don't trade my opinion. I trade based on technical analysis. And here is what else to note. We don't have quite the same signature. So what am I talking about? This could be a bullish reset. So if this comes all the way down here, right, and then we see just Bitcoin just come up here and make a higher low somewhere around 21,000 or 21.4, this could have one more splurt back up, right? But yeah, certainly any kind of a daily closure bank above 24.2, this wick right here, I would be looking for that 25K target to get hit. Yeah. So daily closure above 24.2, that's going to get hit. Okay, daily closure back below our line in the sand here at 22.3. I'm looking for 21.3 to get hit. So it is the game of higher, low, or not. Momentum will remain to the downside as long as we're below 23,943. So what I was saying here on spot price action, if we continue to see this come down and price action to kind of just dribble onto the side, right? That's going to be a bullish reset. And then I would be looking for some of that upwards action to start happening as volatility begins to expand. And that will give all the altcoins the boost that they're looking for. Now, where does the invalidation happen? I'm going to bring it back to CMEs here and say, really any kind of a closure below 20,000 bucks, we're going to get the move all the way down to 18 to 18.5. If we lose that region, that is the see ya sayonara. Don't write home to mommy because nobody cares, and Bitcoin is going down much lower. And for us investors, long-term investors, we're going to be looking at that as one of the greatest buying opportunities in history. So be tuned, stay, and if you do enjoy some of the content, please like and subscribe, share it with a friend, and have yourself a blessed and highly favored day. I'm going to sign out now. Don't forget, if you want to learn about bullish or bearish divergence, in the subject line at the bottom, it says in the description, info@bitcoinadvisors.com. Shoot us an email. We'll send you the cheat sheet for understanding bullish and bearish divergence. All right. Take care.